So we have come to the end of the self-care series. So I just wanted to kind of wrap it up. I just wanted to also offer a couple of resilience steps, as I mentioned it last week in the video, and then tell you what's coming up, right? So I do have notes. You know, I always have notes because of my dyslexia, and I kind of just don't remember words very well. So I kind of have them written down so I just know what I'm going to be speaking about. So in this video, I'm going to be going through summing up the self-care series, and we are about to move into the next steps. It's kind of exciting. Newness, vibrancy and change is afoot. So I just want to go through the areas that we dealt with and do just a really quick wrap up of what we looked at. So we started out, didn't we, with physical self-care. Then we moved into mental self-care, and then emotional self-care, relationship self-care, and spiritual self-care, right? So there were those 5 areas. So the physical self-care was all about, it was about taking care of the body, hydrating well, having nutritious food, making sure that we exercise well, making sure we got regular appointments at doctors, opticians, eye tests and stuff, so that we could be running on all cylinders, right? So, it was about making sure that we had our physical stuff really tickety-boo and running smoothly, so that we didn't fall into areas where our judgment became less proficient, let's say, because when we don't look after our bodies and sleep well, eat well, hydrate well, our judgment can really get knocked, right? So yeah, it was about that. But like I say, on ensuring touch, there is touch in physical too, to make sure we got enough touch. So if you want to know more, and please look at the actual video in question, because there's a lot more in there, but I'm just wrapping them up today, right? Wrapping up today so that you can really get this next stage and sort of just flow into it. Now, as with everything, I just want to say this right now. The reason I brought them up like this, and the reason I built them up like this, is because they are building blocks, right? So if you move through all the videos in succession and start doing things actively, even if you leave a month between videos, for example, and then or you watch them all and then you went back and did the first video and then you did the second video, you're going to start to build new foundations and new practices that will change you and help you in your life just in general, right? So then the next one was mental self-care, wasn't it? Mental self-care was all about the mind. It was about knowledge. It was about gaining new knowledge, about finding new things, problem solving, and just remembering that the mind needs and requires variety, right? Change your routines, change your neural pathways that way, deal with the neocortex. The brain needs to fuse differently in order to wire differently. So all the 3 areas, there's 3 areas, okay? I will go into that a bit more at some other point. And just change it up. Yeah? When we get stuck in old systems and behaviors, what happens is the mind just fires and does it. It's a bit like driving a car, right? So you're driving a car and you know what to do. You're kind of really automaton. So it's like the autonomic nervous system's working rather than you actually making decisions and choices. So really look at that mind yourself variety so that you are not sedentary. Because being sedentary and not giving our brain stimulation actually hardwires the aging process to speed up, so it gets quickened. All right, and it is part of the aging process. Yeah. So then we had emotional self-care. Now that one is it's about being really aware of placing meanings on your feelings, recognizing whether the beliefs are yours or not, and let yourself look at your feelings and what's coming up for you. Are they your feelings? That kind of thing, right? And checking in with your wounds on that one. But as I say, like I said before, you really want to know more, just check out the full video. And then we've got relationship. Relationship was all about being authentic within relationships, being your true self, not having to wear masks, not that kind of mask, the full mask, the mask where you're hiding who you really are behind a facade. And just being really aware of whether you're struggling with relationship, and you're struggling to end relationships, things like that, and being really honourable towards yourself with regard to relationships, and also creating loving relationships, and that being very, very important. Yeah. And then we moved on to spiritual self-care. Now, before I say anything about the spiritual self-care, remember, as I said in the videos, you can watch them, like I say, that relationship self-care and spiritual self-care kind of bleed into self-love, and you'll get it as I do more of the videos, because I'll mention it more, and I'll kind of ground that knowledge in, so you get more understanding of what it is, right, and why they kind of fuse with both areas. Yeah. So they go out and they come in, and they sort of intertwine with each other. So that's kind of quite important to remember, because, and it's also, and this is something quite important that I really need to say actually, please remember that this is not something that we do and then it's done. This is something that is just life. Yeah. Self-care is something that's got to keep happening. Self-love is something that's just got to keep happening. Yeah. Because you see, the thing is, if we give up on those things, on those habits and those behaviours, then we fall back into old patterns and not so good ways of looking after ourselves. Yeah. So the spiritual side was not necessarily religiosity, although religion does come into it. I do mention it a bit more in the video. It's about caring for your spirit, the seat of your soul, right? And remembering that we're spiritual beings, and finding really good ways to raise your vibration. And I did say in that video, I said something like, but when your soul's gone, it's gone. Your soul doesn't go. I mean, your body doesn't have your soul anymore. I remember saying it in that video and then listening to it and thinking, why didn't you edit it? But I didn't, because I thought, it's fine. Hopefully you'll either get me or you'll make a comment and I'll explain what I was meaning. Watch the video, it explains it a lot more, gives some tips and tools in there. But as I say, we are going to revisit it, and we will revisit all of these things, especially the relationship and spiritual, because they really, really do really fix into the self-love area. Now, look, everyone says these differently, and some people would say that it's all self-care. I don't, and I don't. It's nothing. It doesn't matter. These are just labels, and I'm really anti-labels as it goes. I just think we need the information to be labelled and maybe given a title so we can explain it, but actually it doesn't really matter. I have a training which I'm going to be doing in January, and in that training, part of it is a 45-minute training on resilience that will be so worth watching. And if you want to come on my training, please watch out. Look on my website, look on my Facebook page. I will be putting notices out when it's due to come out. It's going to be really limited spaces, because it's with me and it's coaching with me. You'll get a lot of attention, a lot of time with me, where I help you to unpick these areas so that you can really clean stuff up and do this in a really good way and move into a glorious life, because that's what you deserve, right? As far as I'm concerned, that is what you deserve. You deserve a great life. And if I can give you some of the tools that I use to create my great life, so I've got a great life, I love my life, right? If you just have some of those tools and you can step into that as well, we all deserve brilliance in our lives, right? So yeah, so watch out for that. And like I say, it's going to have this really good training within it, which I think's definitely worth doing. I like it. Well, obviously I'm a little bit biased because I made it, but I think it could help you because it's about really kind of tapping into the knowledge base that we have and then expanding that. And the other good thing about coming on the course, if you do, is that you're then going to be doing that mental self-care area. Now, how good's that? Yeah? You're going to kill two birds with one stone. That's awful thing to say. I don't like killing birds. In fact, I don't kill anything. I love birds. But it's a saying, isn't it? Why do we say that? Anybody knows? Please put it in the comments for me so that I know why we say that saying. And if you don't say that saying in your country, maybe tell me some of the sayings you do have. So in the last video, in last week's video, I said that I'd say a few resilience tips, and I will be doing a resilience series very soon. However, I did promise these tips, so let's go. You've got 2 tips today, and they are a little bit of a bonus, but I do want to give them to you, and they are really good ones because they are a really good precursor to where we're going on this journey, right? On this little journey together. So the first one is, I should have drum, shouldn't I? Drum roll, please. The first one is be your own best friend. Yeah? Be your own best friend. You know, when you need to turn to someone because the world's crashing down around your whole everything, right? Turn to you. We do need other people. I'm not saying don't have other outside support, because that's important too. But when you're your own best friend, you can help yourself to step out of stuck spaces. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay? Because you know you. You know your perceptions, you know your perspective, you understand how you feel about things. You got it all, right? You've got all the knowledge to help you. So trust in that. And in that training I'm going to do, actually, I'll go into this so that you can understand how to actually make it a reality. Because what I find a lot when I'm coaching is that people say to me, yes, but I have no understanding of how to actually put it into practice. So through training with myself, or maybe other people who do some of the stuff like this, you can get that basis and get that understanding of how to actually put it into practice and make it a real thing. Yeah. And then the next one, the next resilience step, learn to trust yourself. Take a deep breath, let that bed in. So you're going to be your own best friend and you're going to learn to trust yourself. Yeah, you got it? See, the reason is that we tend to look outside ourselves for validation. Yeah? When you're trusting yourself and you have self-validation, guess what? It gets a lot easier. Yeah? We're going to talk about that maybe in the course as well. So if you come to the course, and I might do some more videos. So I'm going to do some more videos on the resilience series, and that will have more information in it with regard to that step. So next week, what am I going to be talking about? So next week, do join me for the second part of the self-love diet tip. Those are self-love diet tips, and they're really good ones, and they're all really important in the sense of building the blocks up so that when you move into self-love, it's so much easier to actually take the action that needs to be taken. Because when we put in place a really good core, then we're able to build from that core. You know, it's like if your abdominal muscles are really strong and then you do like more exercise work and building up, that core supports everything. So this is what this is. These videos that I'm doing now are all the support structures, okay? So really take them on board and really step into them so that when we move into the self-love area, you are not stuck in a lifeboat without the jacket and without, you know, and without any way to move from where you are because you're stuck in heavy waves. So this is a way to give you that ability to take in the self-love areas without struggling with them. Okay, so that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you have heard here, please subscribe or follow me, or make some comments or hit the notification bell, whichever one suits. And I will see you next week. Sending you so much love and namaste, and take care. Lots of love, guys. Bye.